Today, President Obama went to a shipyard in Virginia, the state's largest industrial employer, to point out how crippling these budget cuts would be to our military, our safety net, and our economy.
All told, the sequester could cost tens of thousands of jobs right here in Virginia. But it doesn't just stop there. If the sequester goes into effect, more than 2,000 college students would lose their financial aid. Early education, like Head Start and Early Start, would be eliminated for nearly 1,000 children, and around 18,000 fewer Virginians would get the skills and training they need to find a job.
These cuts are a disaster for Virginia, and they're a disaster for every state in the country. The president is trying to pull America together, but Republicans are falling apart. Joining me now is Congressman Bobby Scott, Democrat from Virginia, who traveled with the president today, and Richard Wolff. Congressman, help me out. Does the Republican position on these cuts make any sense at all to people in your district?
Well, first of all, it depends on which decision, which position you're talking about. But the fact is that the idea that the sequester should go into effect is absurd. You have $1.2 trillion worth of cuts over 10 years that will be inflicted on the budget. In my area of Virginia, the impact of job loss will be about the same impact as the 2008 recession. Devastating impact on jobs. The idea that we need this to grow the economy is ridiculous. This will destroy the economy of Hampton Roads. But the fact is that the across-the-board mindless cuts of $1.2 trillion will have to inflict pain, and there really is no alternative. You cannot have, well, let's have some surgical, deliberate cuts. That doesn't help. The number $1.2 trillion is so huge that you'll have nationwide between 700,000 and 2 million jobs lost. If you did this strategically, you may save those jobs, but the problem is 700,000 and 2 million other people would lose their jobs. The fact is you can't cut the budget $1.2 trillion and not inflict damage and havoc on the economy and with government services.
That's why you know, Congressman, but what I keep trying to get people to understand and said in the introduction is it was designed to be so damaging and painful that we never get here. I mean, I don't understand how people would not understand that it's painful. It was designed to be so painful that we never do it. No one imagined they would actually do it.
Well, it was designed to be painful, designed to have us come up with $1.2 trillion in alternative cuts. The problem is you can't do $1.2 trillion in alternative cuts. You haven't seen a list of cuts that amount to $1.2 trillion that anybody would want to be associated with.
Right.
You can't do a list. So, I mean, the idea that if you want $1.2 trillion in deficit reduction, you have to have revenues. You cannot do $1.2 trillion, and that's why no one has come up with a list.
That's exactly right. That's
The only thing you've seen when they talk about they passed a bill, all they did was come up with a little funding to try to delay it for a little while, come up with $100 billion, but not $1.2 trillion. You just can't do it without going seriously into Medicare and Social Security. And let's put this in perspective.
Well, let me get Richard in this a minute, Congressman, because he's making